Kinsey from North Carolina, and I have a condition called OCD. That means I worry non-stop about all kinds of things. Like, I have to wipe my desk chair 8 times before I can sit on it. I also count my socks 6 times each night to make sure I have enough pairs for the next day. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. Living with my condition was tough and a bit lonely. I was an only child in a super rich family, but our servants were my only friends because everyone at school thought I was a freak. One time, I was sitting in class next to a girl who kept staring at me. "What are you doing with your colored pencils?" "Duh, I'm organizing them so they all face the same way." "You've organized them like 50 times. What are you, a robot?" Everyone started laughing, except this one boy named Blake. After class, he gave me some chocolates to cheer me up. Don't let those mean kids make you feel bad. You're pretty, you're funny, and you're the best speller in our whole class. He was a sweetheart. After that day, Blake and I became really close. And as time passed, I really started falling for him. But anytime I decided to tell him how I felt, I chickened out. But one day in 10th grade, there was an announcement for the school dance, and my heart raced. I wasn't letting this chance go. Today, I'd ask him out. At lunchtime, I caught Blake sitting alone, but my heart dropped when a gorgeous girl walked over to Blake and put her arms around him. No! Hey, dude, what's going on? Is this your cousin or something? Nope, this is my new girlfriend who just asked me to the dance. Isn't that awesome? Wow, so awesome. Sorry, I gotta go. The air is making my eyes water. Allergies. I couldn't believe I'd missed my chance. And now Blake has a stupid girlfriend. I was watching MSA videos that night when I came across a story about a girl who got married 9 times just to get revenge on her sister. That's when I got an idea. The only way to get over Blake was to date as many guys as possible. So I texted every boy I knew. It was a gorgeous goddess with extra clean hair. Surely at least one boy would want me. But I woke up to see my phone had blown up with messages from 16 guys. And when I walked into school, a swarm of boys circled me with flower bouquets and even a life-size teddy bear. That's when Blake came up to see me. These guys are going crazy. Did that dude just throw rose petals at you? Oh, that one's been wanting to go to the dance with me. Yep, while you were with your girlfriend, I decided to get myself 16 dates. You can't go on 16 dates. That's crazy. Oh, yes, I can. You just watch. I walked away like a queen and couldn't help notice Blake looked kind of upset. Well, I was glad. He had chosen someone else, and that was his loss. I set up my dates in a row that whole week. One at a bowling alley, one at an escape room, and one at a skating rink. But I realized I didn't like a single guy I went out with. One night, I was stuck at a restaurant with the most annoying guy on earth. What's your favorite flavor, bubblegum? Do you like surfing? Why are you wearing rubber gloves while you eat? I hate bubblegum and swimming in the ocean. And again, I have OCD and don't like touching silverware at public restaurants. Just then, our waiter came by and he looked around my age. Excuse me, miss. You have an emergency call. I jumped up right away and the waiter led me to a counter. Did anyone die? Is my mom sick or worse? They canceled MSA, my favorite channel. Oh, I just made up the emergency call. You just seemed miserable on that date, and I wanted to save you. Oh my god, you're amazing. Thank you. No, you're the worst. You made me think my mom was sick. So, how about I make it up to you after my shift ends? We can go to the park. I have a thing for girls with turquoise gloves. I laughed and immediately agreed to hang out with the guy after his shift. I found out his name was Indigo, and he actually lived close by to me. Actually, I'm homeschooled, so I come here a lot. I don't have a ton of friends. Well, now you have one. From that day on, Indigo and I started hanging out a lot. I had made a commitment to go on every one of my dates. My mission wasn't complete, so every time I'd go on a bad date at his restaurant, Indigo would come up with some excuse to rescue me, and we had the best time laughing over it. Then one day, Blake and I decided to catch up over coffee. How come you and Indigo hang out so much? I thought you were busy dating 16 guys. Now I'm down to 9 guys. I still haven't found anyone yet, but whatever. Indigo's my friend, and I really like him. Oh, so you like him. Didn't you say he doesn't have any friends? That doesn't seem a little off to you or anything. There isn't anything off about him. Why can't you just be happy that I made a new friend? He's the only person besides you who doesn't think I'm a weirdo. I am happy for you. Why wouldn't I be happy? I just don't want you getting hurt since you obviously like him. God, what a drama queen. But the more I hung out with Indigo, I wondered if Blake was onto something. Indigo was lovely, but he also never invited me to his house or told me much about himself. One night, Indigo and I were sitting by the lake, and I decided to ask him about it. I don't tell people about my life. It's too complicated. Well, I don't like hanging out with people who keep secrets. Fine, I'll hang out by myself then. At that second, Indigo ran into the lake and went underwater with his clothes on. What are you doing? The lake is polluted. You don't know what's inside it. I'm going home. Just put your feet in. It feels nice. And remember, you can always take 100 showers after. Do you trust me, Kinsey? I was about to tell Indigo no freaking way, but then I noticed his warm brown eyes and that he was holding his arms out to me. I held his hands tight as I dipped my feet into the water. Oh my god, I'm doing it! I'm amazing! Indigo, this is a really big deal for me. Well, I'm honored to be by your side during such a big moment in your life. Indigo smiled at me, and suddenly, I pulled him close and kissed him. I felt my heart race like never before. I fell asleep thinking about Indigo that night. I could still feel his lips. But the next day, I heard a knock on my window, and it was Blake. Blake, what are you doing here? Kinsey, I'm in love with you. I've been in love with you for years, but I never had the guts to tell you. That's why I got a girlfriend, but I ended things between us. You're the only one I want to be with. I couldn't speak. My head was spinning. I'd wanted to hear those words for so long. So, do you love me back? Can you squeeze in a 10th guy to date? Before I could reply, there was another knock at my window, and it was Indigo. Well, I understand everything now. Indigo is the guy you love. I came over because I never heard back from you after we kissed. Is it because you're in love with him? Oh god, oh god! I sat on my bed and both boys sat on either side of me. Okay, it's true. I like both of you, but I don't know who I like more, and I don't want to hurt anyone. Fine then. There's only one way to settle this. You cancel the rest of your 9 dates and date both of us for a few weeks, and then decide who you want to be with. Indigo agreed, and suddenly, the two of them were arguing about where they'd take me and what gifts they'd buy. I kicked them both out so I could go to sleep and take a frickin' bubble bath. But I agreed to their date plan since it was probably the best course of action. Blake was first and invited me over to his house for a candlelit dinner. He was even wearing a suit and playing romantic music. I thought the two of us could have a slow dance before we ate. I actually would love that. Blake pulled me close and my heart fluttered. Even with everything that had happened, I did still love him. But then suddenly, Blake pulled away. What happened to your hands, Kinsey? They're not peeling or red anymore. They look normal. I've been washing my hands a little less. Still a lot, but not 30 times a day. Oh, you wouldn't believe what Indigo made me do the other day. I told Blake about how I dipped my feet into the lake, and he looked really surprised. That's really big for you, isn't it? I'm glad. Anyway, let's have dinner. I had all your favorites made. The next evening, Indigo took me out to see the symphony, and later we went out for a moonlit walk. We ended up roaming the streets for 2 hours because I wanted to count 333 lampposts, and Indigo was more than happy to oblige. The next couple of weeks were a whirlwind of romantic dates, but making my decision wasn't getting any easier. Blake was the boy I'd always loved, but Indigo had left his mark in a short time, and now I couldn't imagine not having him in my life. A few days later, I was having a picnic with Indigo when he turned to me, looking serious. Kinsey, it's about time I told you the truth. The reason I'm homeschooled and why I don't have any friends is because I have a serious illness, and I'm in and out of the hospital a lot. And I never ask you to come over because my parents are really overprotective and they fuss over me a lot. I didn't want to freak you out with all that. Wow, Indigo, that sounds tough. It's not been too bad, just something I have to live with. But things will change once you get the surgery in 2 days. Indigo turned to me in shock as I clapped my hands over my mouth. Oh God, how did I let this slip? I was about to tell you about my surgery. How do you already know? Wait a second. Did you pay for it? Because my mom told me that just this morning that some anonymous donor had decided to fund my surgery. Kinsey, is that you? Okay, please don't be mad. I once saw you taking your meds secretly, and I just wanted to know what was going on with you. So I went to your house and met your mom. She told me everything. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be nosy. It's just because I care. I can't accept such a big favor from you. It's not a favor, and you don't have a choice. I know your illness is more serious than you're letting on. You have to do this. You're running out of time. Okay, you're right. I can't thank you enough, Kinsey. Save your speeches for later. You just focus on the surgery now and getting well really soon. The day of the surgery, I reached the hospital an hour before, and I was going to Indigo's room when Blake appeared. I'm so glad you're here, Blake. God, I'm so dumb. I nearly told Indigo everything the other day. But he doesn't know that I paid for half of the surgery, right? You did what? Blake and I turned around to see Indigo in a wheelchair, ready to be taken to the operating room. Listen, Indigo, are you kidding me? Your lover BFF took pity on me and chipped in too? What am I, some charity project they used to win you over? No, dude, it's not like that. Save it, Blake. Lucky for you that you're rich enough to pull off such grand gestures. You helped save my life and come off as the hero, so of course she'll choose you. And I'll just end up feeling like a total loser. I'm calling it off. I'm not getting the surgery. And Kinsey, you're better off with Blake anyway, so choose him already and let's get this over with. With that, Indigo stormed off. I have to go and convince him. He needs this. Let me try once, okay? Indigo, don't be stupid and come back inside. Please, just leave me alone. No, I won't. And that's because I really care about Kinsey and you're the right guy for her. Over the last few weeks, I've seen how much Kinsey has changed. She seems lighter and more comfortable with herself. I've been her friend since we were kids, but I haven't had the same impact on her that you have. She's different because of you, and I just really want my best friend to be happy. So I told her days ago that I was gonna step aside, and I helped pay for the surgery because I want you to be healthy. So do it for yourself, and do it for her. We all waited anxiously for hours, and finally the surgeon stepped out of the operating room with a smile. The heart transplant went really well, and we're expecting a full recovery. Congratulations. The next day, when I could finally see Indigo, I went up to him and hugged him gently. I'm so glad you're doing well, Indigo. And it's all because of you. I have a new heart now, to love you even more with. I love you, Kinsey. I love you too.